Imagine Europe in early 1914, not its diplomats, but its smoke. Thick, sulphurous coal smoke pouring from 10,000 factory chimneys. Every shell casing, every rifle barrel, every loaf of army bread traced its existence back to a single black rock pulled from the earth. Coal was not merely fuel in 1914, it was civilization itself. And when it began to run out, the men sent to fight had to adapt or die. The bread of industry, understanding the 1914 energy crisis. Mass conscription gutted mining workforces almost overnight. Germany's Ruhr output fell sharply as pitmen swapped picks for rifles. Railways consuming coal to move troops competed with the very factories needing fuel to arm them. A vicious, self-reinforcing loop. The British naval blockade tightened that wound further, choking off iron ore and industrial inputs Germany could not replace at home. The strategic calculus of fuel. No general staff had modelled coal reserves. After month 18 of a war, every plan assumed would last 6 weeks. Germany's spring offensive of 1918 was the convulsion of an industrial system on fumes, one final attempt to win before the fuel gave out. Life in the trenches, surviving the cold and the dark. Step into a front-line trench in November 1914. The air smells of wet wool, rifle oil, and something underfoot you try not to name. The brazier meant to burn coke now runs on shattered fence timber, green, smoking, dangerous. Soldiers learned fast what every woodsman knows. Smoke above the parapet drew artillery as surely as a signal flare. Wood was split thin, dried against the body, and fed to the fire in careful quantities. Bushcraft born of desperation, refined under shell fire. Building shelter when timber and coal were gone. When fuel failed, soldiers turned to insulation. Animal skins lined dugout walls. Straw packed beneath sleeping boards created a thermal break from frozen earth. German engineers built shelters 12 feet underground, where temperature held steady regardless of the carnage above. Passive thermal management identical in principle to the bermed earth shelters survival instructors teach today. When the body cannot be warmed from outside, you preserve the heat it already holds. Foraging, rations, and the ingenuity of hunger. Coal powered the field kitchens. When it ran short, hot food vanished. Soldiers from farming backgrounds fell back on older knowledge, snaring rabbits with telegraph wire, foraging rose hips along ruined orchard edges, boiling nettles in salvaged tins. Shell crater water was filtered through putty wool and treated with lime tablets when available. When tablets ran out, men drank and accepted the odds, the same calculation every serious fieldcraft practitioner must eventually confront. Camouflage, observation, and the art of invisibility. Industrial killing created industrial demand for concealment. The Lovat Scouts, Scottish stalkers, recruited for their fieldcraft expertise, brought Highland hunting tradition into Flanders and, well, built the modern ghillie suit in the process. Their principle, unchanged in every sniper school since break the outline first, then match the colour. A human shape on a skyline is visible at great distance regardless of pattern. Dissolve that shape into organic texture, and you become part of the landscape itself. Maintaining morale when everything fails. Survival is never purely physical. When scarcity stripped away warmth and hot food, soldiers fought the psychological war with chess pieces carved from shell casings, instruments built from salvaged wire, and diaries maintained obsessively. Dark humour, the famous British trench wit, the French poilu's fatalism, was not personality, but deliberate reframing of unbearable circumstance. Modern survival psychology has a clinical name for it. These men called it getting on with it. The fire that forged us, lessons that last. The soldiers of the Great War did not choose their classroom, but they learned what no comfort can teach, that resourcefulness is not a trait, but a skill. When coal ran out, they foraged for fuel. When rations failed, they read the land. When cold pressed in, they engineered warmth from salvage. When darkness threatened their minds, they built meaning from almost nothing. Fieldcraft is the cultivated capacity to face scarcity and find a path forward. The world will not always provide. These men show us what to do when it doesn't. If this episode moved you, if you found yourself leaning forward, taking mental notes, Fieldcraft Chronicles was made for you. Subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share this video with anyone who values history, self-reliance, and the art of survival. Drop a comment telling us which techniques surprised you most. History, survival, Fieldcraft.